Welcome, everyone. Another episode of the 21 day series. I say that because I'm not sure if it's 9 or 10. Cryptocurrency consciousness. Well, today I want to talk about censorship and discernment. Censorship versus discernment. Why I want to talk about that is because I've recently just been made aware that a spectacular interview by London Real and David Icke was censored everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, censored. It has been censored by the one authority of Facebook. It has been deemed information not suitable for the public. And yes, the blockchain will bring an end to that because there's no censorship there. And this is why a higher level of frequency, a higher level of consciousness is required. Let me get into this. So, we're all upset that it's been censored. Guess what? Blockchain will allow all free will, all free speech from everyone. No one will be censoring it. No one. Because all the information is for us to discern from. So unless we don't raise our level of consciousness, we're going to be nitpicking at each other, even on those platforms. I really want to make one thing clear, is that we are not going to create the new earth by agreeing with each other, stabilizing what is true and what is false. It's not going to work like that, ever. The only way we can create new earth is by raising our level of consciousness. So I'm going to give you a scenario now. Facebook's been censoring. It is a one authority. It is a centralized platform of information, meaning it is now discerning for us because of our lower levels of consciousness that have been integrating here, and no one has been really putting in a lot of practice and effort apart from the small community that we're all belong to, is that we've been investing time, investing our focus in spiritually growing within us, connecting to our higher self, receiving and having a two-way conversation with our higher self for expansion. But there's yet a lot of work to be done. So because we cannot agree with each other, on Facebook, you see a lot of people blocking other people, reporting other people. I don't like this. I don't like that. That should not be here. This should not be here. Do something about it. You, one authority, do something about it. And that's why the one authority has been in such power for so long. Taking Facebook or your government, any one authority had the power because we have been giving it power. Because we don't know how to get along with everyone else, because we don't have that level of consciousness, broad, wide world. It's starting with us. And as soon as we find a substitute, for example, Facebook, we'll be going onto a platform on the blockchain and there will be everything there. This is the transition period where all levels of consciousness will start mendling, even on the blockchain. What's going to happen when you see something you don't like? There's no big brother that you can report it to. No one's going to censor it. This is why your attention and discernment, focus, is so important. Where are you going to place your focus? On that very thing that just annoyed you because it sounds untrue, it feels untrue, and when I focus there, I feel awful? Don't focus there. We're not going to weed out the lower levels of consciousness by pushing against them or trying to monitor them. It's not going to work. And this is where we'll have a platform to practice because there is no censorship there. There is no one authority saying this is allowed and this is not allowed. This is where the blockchain gives free will to everyone, and everyone's going to flock. Everyone's going to flock. Are you ready? This is why I said blockchain is a representation of a higher level of consciousness, because we no longer require an authority to decide for us. It's time we grow up. We cannot be children tittle-telling on each other. How do we do that? How do you do that? You move your focus to what resonates without having to fight what just inspired you to something, to say, look, I'm not going to focus there anymore. Now I'm going to focus over here. But I'm not going to fight Facebook. I'm not going to blog about it. I'm not going to spend any time about it. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to enjoy the frequency, the vibration that it just inspired me to. So it adds to my vision. My vision now is a platform where I can see everything and discern for myself, because I feel responsible. I am a sovereign being, you say to yourself. I can choose. I can choose because I have that maturity. And that's where the distraction comes. 99% of the time, you get distracted and pulled in, sucked in by these injustices. It's so unjust what these people are doing. And this is where we slide back up and down in that duality, our distraction. It seems like good intent, but it's not, is it a pure intent? And I'll even give you an example of my sliding today. My 6 minutes of fame on the slide. So I go to the beach today, as you can see, and it is full of jellyfish. The water is so clear, it's a stunning day, and these beautiful pink little creatures just swimming around in this clear water, so clear I can see every single detail of them. And I did. I stood and I watched how they move around in the clear water. And then 3 saviors of lower consciousness come along and decide that they are going to swoop them out of the water and throw them against the rocks, because we are going to protect our children from getting stung as they wish to swim in the clear water on a beautiful sunny day on the beach in Malta. And my heart just started to feel crunched. My heart closed. I slid in the duality of the injustice of what was being done. These creatures are being killed unnecessarily, for we are not hungry. We do not need to kill them. It is unnecessary. And I went on my 6-minute rampage until the pain was unbearable. I could not bear it anymore. I had to sit back down and find that 0 point. Transcending duality, for there is no death. I had to remind myself, I had to bring myself slowly, I had to talk myself back into alignment. The moment I did that, I then noticed nobody was swimming and nobody was killing any more jellyfish. Either they had given up, that there were just too many. And all of the children were petrified because their parents put the fear of death in them, that they would get stung if they went into the water. Whereas Marie stood up and dived into the clear water and enjoyed her day. And not one jellyfish in the whole midst of them went close to her, because she spoke to them. She did. I know she did. She told me. This is harmonizing with your environment, harmonizing with all beings on this planet. Are you at that level of consciousness? I tripped up 6 minutes, and I tripped up seeing it, and now I'm sharing it with you. It doesn't need to take 6 minutes, it can take even less. But are you aware of the pain that it creates when you do go diving from one polarity to another? You are not the savior of others. You are the perceiver of your own alignment. And when that becomes more important than anything else, of what needs to be censored, what needs to be saved, what is unjust, what is not just, the more we do that, the more judgment we put out there, the more in out of alignment we sway. Censoring information is not helping. A lot of people are getting upset and a lot of people are being sucked in. But the blockchain, there's no censorship. Yet, can you handle that? Can you see lower levels of consciousness playing out their games? Will you still be affected? Will you still be able to hold that highest, the highest? Because that is how we're going to create New Earth. And that is the level of consciousness that is required the moment you step into blockchain. It is preparing the path for the highest. But during the shift, we will be encountering also those that have not realized, that are still in duality, that are still struck by the fear of losing, the fear of missing out, the fear of low self-worth, the fear of those lower chakras. What are you going to do? Are they going to be the reason why you couldn't hold your highest? Discernment. What you do with your attention and where you place it and how you interact and the decisions you make all come from within. You navigate within yourself without pushing against the extremities of polarity. It's going to take practice. And blockchain's already here. Platforms are already created. And there's going to be everyone until they weed themselves out alone without our interference. And the only way we can allow that is by us, who have already gone on this path, on this journey, to hold our highest. And during those 6 minutes, it was very hard to see these creatures being thrown into the rocks, left to die. In my heart, I was suffering. But you can't sort it out with thoughts, having arguments in your mind. But you can bring yourself to 0 point where you feel that connection of life, of that purest. You're going to have to practice discernment, taking responsibility. No more telling tales. Oh, look at them. Look at this. That is, what, here and there. It's just pulling you back into the story. Have your 6 minutes within you. See that. I'm sharing it here with you because I can see how that helped me practice, even in a moment of, I just got lost. And in those 6 minutes, I even heard myself say to one of the ladies that was putting the fear of being stung in their children, why are you killing these creatures? And she looked at me as if I was completely an idiot from another planet. What do you mean? Of course we're going to kill them. And I just realized, like, their perception is their perception, and I am not going to be able to shift it because that person hasn't evolved to higher levels of consciousness. She can only see from that perspective because Her mother or her parents and her community, they were all doing it. This is the right thing to do. Let me teach my children to weed out the things that could possibly sting me and hurt me. I will kill it. Isn't that? And then here I come trying to weed her out of my existence because she's disturbing my focus. Can you see? I was doing exactly the same thing that she was doing. It's just tit for tat. It doesn't work. Things only shift the moment I remember. I was doing exactly the same thing. I was weeding out what I thought was a threat, was not right. And she was weeding out what she thought was a threat to her children. You see, this chain just takes you on a hamster wheel. There is no expansion. Notice these little things in every single moment. Where am I placing my attention and how does it feel? The only reason why I snapped out of it because my heart closed to such a degree, I cannot tolerate pain for longer than 6 minutes. And I wish I would have seen it even sooner. Because no subject, no object, no scenario deserves that kind of pain. Go back to 0 point. Remember who you are. Remember where you are. Remember what you're doing. You are creating. You are a creator. And you do not create by agreeing or disagreeing with other people. The only way we can create is by hiring our level of consciousness. Period. There is no other way. And the more of us raise in that and hold that vision, the others, we will have done the work. It will just be common sense after a while. Of course, we don't have to weed anybody out. They will see it too. But we need to be the example of that. So those now that will probably be weeding away from Facebook and looking for another platform where there's no censorship, where they're not monitoring you of what you're doing when you're not on Facebook, be sure that you will see others saying things and doing things. There will be a lot of addiction out there. There will be the victims out there needing attention. There will be the fear and trolls out there. There will be the porn addicts. You'll see all of it. There will be that. Are you ready to discern and to know what to follow, where to put your attention, and allow that to exist until at some level we've all raised our level of consciousness, and all of that will fade out. This is the practice, this is the work where we transcend duality. There's no more censorship on the blockchain. You are the only one that can discern. There's nobody going to do it for you, because that is how the one authority did it before. They said, you cannot discern for yourself. We will do it for you because you cannot agree. And we cannot sort things out from that level of consciousness anymore. There's only one answer. We do not create new earth by attempting to agree with each other. There are more than 7 billion beings on this planet right now, human beings. We only create new earth by raising our own level of consciousness. We are creating the blockchain. And if you're not ready to practice when you do get on a platform where there is no censorship, no one sorting out good and bad for you, that it will be your responsibility. You are now sovereign. You can do that. Are you ready? Be prepared. Blockchain doesn't mean it's going to be heaven on earth for now. It's going to give you something to practice, and it's going to give you that motivation, that encouragement that there is more to transcend, there is more to purify, there is so much more to harmonize. This is where we get to do the work. Everything that you've meditated for years, you've read thousands of books, you've gone to hundreds and hundreds of retreats, and you have followed so many gurus. This is the time now where you get to see that, and now practice within you. Your vision within you. You navigate the way you feel within you, not trying to convince others. I hope this is served for today. I love you very much. Be kind to yourself. Notice when you are in emotional distress, and notice what is being offered for you right here, right now, for you to transcend the duality and go deep, deep within your own alignment, within your own self, and that connection to higher self. That is the only way. That is the only way we're going to create new earth. I love you all. See you tomorrow.